Hello, welcome back to this channel, or welcome to this channel. My name is Jackie and I love planners and journals. Today I'm here to finally share with you my 2022 planners and journals updated lineup, or what I've been using and what I intend to use for the next quarter of the year. I've simplified a little bit, and I think you will see in this video, but I still have a lot of books to share with you. If you haven't seen my previous video where I talk about how I'm able to use multiple planners, I will leave that down below and up here so you can check that out, because there I explain how some of the planners and journals in my original lineup have evolved and changed for a while, and how they may come back to being what they were at the beginning, and how I kind of changed my lineup and let it evolve as I need it. So we are going to be starting with the planners, then we are moving on to the journals. And have in mind that I have 6 books to share here with you, but I don't really use them every single day. Just 2 I use on a regular basis every single day, the other ones just when I need to. So let's start with the easiest one, which is my work planner, because even when I try to change and move it to a smaller size, I always get back to the Hobonichi Cousin as my work planner. It's what works for me, what has been working since 2019 when I first watched the vegan organizer video about her Hobonichi Cousin and realized that's what I needed in my life to organize my academic life and my thesis. And it's still working. I have in here the spring edition, so it's going to start on the last week of May, and the daily pages start in April. But I just cheated a little bit and kind of created my own Hobonichi Cousin. And I have in here in one of the Hobonichi notebooks, just because I could not wait to move in. And we do have the monthly views since February, and I just wanted to jump right in. And the reason I went with the spring version this time is because it will end on March 2023, which is more or less the same time I have to finish, to be completely done with my PhD thesis. So I thought it was a good sign, and it will be nice to have this final year all in just the one book and not shift to another one at the beginning of the year, just to have 2 or 3 months of my thesis in there. So very simple. I'm still using more or less in the same way. I have changed a couple of things in the monthly view, and if you want to, I can do an updated setup video, but it's very simple, very functional, and I'm only using a pen and a gray mild liner in this book at the moment. I'm not even color coding. So very simple. I use this every day that I'm working. So it's not every single day, but to be completely honest, mostly every single day, because I've been working even during the weekends. Next, we have my passport traveler's notebook. I've been condensing my system into just this one book because next month I will be traveling and I want to bring just this little guy with me and have everything I need. I already have a setup video that of course I will also leave up here and down in the description box, but I'm still adapting a little bit, and I talked about this in my video about how I use multiple planners as well. I'm kind of condensing what I have in my A6 into this book, and I think I finally found the system that will work for me at this moment in my life, and I will film that for you very soon as well, explaining a little bit more how I actually planning here, because it's a hybrid system between a bullet journal, a journal, and a structured planner. So I have actually 4 inserts in here. So this basically holds everything I need, and it's mainly personal because I do feel the need for an A5 as my work planner, but I can also have work notes in here if this is the only thing I have with me and I have this with me all the time. Next, we have my trusted and beloved and my true love Hobonichi A6. I'm still using it on a daily basis. I cannot live without my Hobonichi A6. I also carry with me all the time whenever I have space in my bag, just because this is just perfect for me. I think you already know that. And I also need to film a setup video about this book, but it's just being the one I was using as my main planner or my personal planner. Right now, I'm using it more as a journal again. If you have seen any of my other lineups, you know the A6 is always my journal because it's just the perfect size for me. But I've been watching a lot of Ellen from the Coffee Monsters Co. and I just love how she uses her Hobonichi Cousin on a daily basis. And I started doing the same. So basically, I just divide the pages into two. I will try to put a photo in here because there are sensitive information, so I cannot flip without knowing if I can show you or not. But in the left side, I use this to just do a brain dump of all the tasks I want to do in the mornings. I'm using this at this moment mainly in the mornings. And then on the right side, I just journal about the previous day or how I'm feeling that morning. So it has become very, very personal. It still feels like a hybrid between a planner and a journal because I'm dumping tasks here as well. But the function of this book is at the beginning of the day to just declutter my mind. I take everything that's worrying me or things that I cannot forget and I write it down here in a list format in the left side, and then I journal about it in the right side, and I can decorate if I want to. I think here I received some happy mail and I was so happy, and I decided to add the little shop stickers in here. And it can be anything I want because I love this book. It's my safe place and I just love it. And I have it in a Giglio Appunto cover for now. Now we have my journals. I have my 5-year Hobonichi techo. I'm still trying to keep up with this project, and I will. I need to be more optimistic about it because even though I have missed a full month or more than a month in here, I can always get back to it later on because I have all the information I need in my Hobonichi A6 and in my traveler's notebook, so I don't need to worry about it. Oh, and I forgot my Hobonichi Weeks. It's here as well. Don't worry about it. So the 5-year techo, the same. I'm always behind, but I'm still using it in one way or another. Next, I think I should talk about my Hobonichi Weeks because I show this a lot over on my Instagram, and don't worry, I'm still using it. I'm still very consistent with it because I do have fun and I like this book. I think it's the first time I'm able to keep up with a Hobonichi Weeks since maybe 2018 and 17 when I was using it as my only main planner. So I'm having fun and I want to keep using it. But basically, before it was my weekly planner. So it was where I would have my weekly overview with all the tasks I need to get done that week and also my appointments and events. But now I have a weekly insert in here that I was using before more as like a memory keeping, and for this moment in my life, I like the weekly insert from the passport size better than the one from the weeks. So they kind of shifted, and I talked about this in the other video that I keep mentioning about how I use multiple planners. But now what I'm doing is I use this more as a weekly overview still because it's very helpful to me to just look at the one side of the page and see all the events and appointments I have that day. But now I'm not using it so much to track stuff or to keep up with my tasks. I just like to have it as a summary of my day and what I did and that particular week as well, because then I can just check here and then fill my 5-year techo, and I feel like it has always been that way a little bit, so still using it not much as a planner, more as a journal, weekly journal or memory keeping. Now it's time to talk about the last one, which is my regular or standard traveler's notebook. And now I have it in this brown cover because it was the one I bought personally in Japan back in 2018, and I was just missing it. And I changed it, and I love changing the covers of my planners. That's why sometimes it seems like I have way more planners and journals than I have, because I do have a lot of covers. But anyhow, this has been the same forever and ever. I feel like I'm using it as my whenever, whatever journal. Whenever I have the time, I come here to write whatever I want. Basically, that's it. I also will probably set this up as my travel journal when I'm traveling next month. Not sure if it will come with me or if I will just have my passport and then I can just create my travel journal in here, because that's usually what I do. Actually, what I usually do is I bring this with me, then I have never time to use it to create the travel journal when I'm actually traveling, and then I end up just using it to store like ephemera, and then I have to do it when I get back anyhow. So I'm still debating that, but I do have a monthly insert that I'm using just to write down the highlights of that particular day or maybe some gratitude. But to be honest, I don't feel the need to come back here every single day because I can always fill this out later. It's just because I had the insert and I really want to put it to use if it doesn't overwhelm me. If it makes me happy, I come here. I don't have to come here every single day. Again, whenever I have the time or the disposition to do so. I also have a vertical weekly in here. This was highly inspired by Cecilia from Scientist Plans, and I've been just playing around if I want to memory keep or do a little bit of journaling in this layout. I have been trying the vertical weekly from the standard size for a couple of years now, more than a couple of years, and I never stick to it. But now seeing how Cecilia uses hers, I feel very inspired to try it out again. So I'm trying it for the moment. And I always have just plain insert. I do believe this is the actual plain insert, like the most basic one, the one that usually comes with the planner, with the cover. And I just use it to write down my feelings whenever I don't have space to write down in my other journals, or whenever I'm feeling something that I don't want to keep looking back at it, if that makes sense. So I just come here, I vent, I put everything into words, and then I move on. So that's it. That's all I've been using so far. I think the biggest change is that I'm relying so much more on my passport traveler's notebook since probably the middle of January, when I stopped using my bullet journal Nuna on a daily basis. And now I'm kind of condensing my system into just this one book for the trip. And I feel like whenever I have a trip coming up, this is what happens. The passport size is always my one book July as well, besides last year where I tried with the Happy Planner and it didn't work and I moved to my traveler's notebook. So I'm used to be able to condense everything into this book, and I feel like for what I'm needing at this moment in my life, this is the best system that I can have right now. We will see how it will change. I will keep you posted, and I will try to film a more detailed video about not the setup, but how I actually been using this tiny planner journal, bullet journal combo. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.